I haven't showered in a day, but that's besides the point. Hello everyone. Welcome back to some very special news about Guild Wars 2. I was planning on making a video about this before we got the full trailer, but then we got the full trailer and I was at school and classes, and taking 4 humanities courses is really a toll on my brain. So I'm getting to it now. I'm going to talk about Visions of the Past. A very exciting branch of the living story, or the saga, as one would call it now. And there's a lot to dissect. So, let's get right into the news and show the trailer. Then I will discuss afterwards. Let's go.
Your wounds have mended. What are you waiting for? The scrying pool's ready.
You're in the Steel Warband now. I expect nothing short of absolute perfection.
Aren't you the sorriest bunch of recruits I've ever laid eyes on?
All targets eliminated.
Magic or not, a tank blast to the face works just the same!
Happiness is a smooth tonic. What are you doing here?
Oh boy, is there quite a lot to unpack here with this trailer. I guess I'm just gonna go in order, considering it's the most obvious route to take when talking about this video. So we are first shown, of course, spoilers, adult Elder Dragon Oreen, and then we go into the scrying pool, which we ended up at the final part of last episode, and it immediately goes into the vision of the past with Ryland and his warband. And it shows us just some gameplay of the actual instanced event. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. Can we take multiple people in here? Is this a single player thing? Is this kind of like a fractal? That's something I would like to have more clarification on, which we might in the coming days, or we'll just have to wait until we play it. So we see Ryland and his warband pressing on, and we also get to see the rewards for playing this. 5 variants of greatswords, pistols, rifles, staff, sword. I think sword is another one. So it's nice that we are also, in accommodation with the actual showcase of the content that they have made. They are also showing the certain rewards that you can get when you decide to play this Vision of the Past. And then after we see Ryland and his warband, we transition into the actual Eye of the North hub itself. And I'm very happy to see that this is similar to the Sunspear. I call it a Sunspear garrison because, back in the day, during Warlords of Draenor, we had garrisons. But they seem to be taking that concept and hopefully elevating it in the Eye of the North hub. And it's an upgradable hub. You get to have, as you can see, some crafting stations, probably some merchants. You can have a strike portal that you also you know, get along the way. It seems like it's going to be something that you progressively work towards. So for players who want that long-term goal or a long-term quest or achievement to go for, having a strike mission in like in your quote-unquote home base is actually probably convenient if you do a lot of strike missions, that is. It'd be nice to see if you also could get like a world versus world portal, or like a portal to a raid, or a fractal, a portal to the mists. This kind of is like a home instance in a way, but everyone gets the same home instance. I mean, even if they did implement home instances or housing, player housing, you'd only have a select few houses to choose from, I bet, unless you go into like decoration with like guild hall stuff. But it's kind of like that. It gave me the vibes. It gave me some vibes of player housing, and I'm excited to see how it shapes up. I know the Sunspear Sanctuary, I forgot what it's called. It's been a while since I've been back there. It was upgradable in terms of the NPCs that came in and the achievements / quests that you got. And I think that'd be really cool if we got some more quest-like NPCs to come into the order hall. Because if you think about it, the achievement page is kind of all your quests. Because most of them, the ones that do offer rewards, are very similar to quests. XP isn't a huge factor for Guild Wars 2, so it's mostly about what reward you get. Do you get skins? Do you get ascended crafting materials? Do you get armor? Do you get a mount? Do you get capes? These are all earnable rewards that are now being questioned, considering we have in-game mounts now that you can get in World versus World, and as later on in this trailer, it says that there's an in-game earnable cape, which there already was one with the guild hall stuff with your guild, but hopefully this is a little bit more ornate than just a napkin. On top of the hub based for Eye of the North, we further continue into the trailer, and we start to see something that has got a lot of players, including myself, very excited for and very hyped for. This is the returning episodes, 4 episodes, of Living World Season 1. As someone who did not play the entirety of Season 1, I am very, very excited and very happy that this is finally coming to fruition. I played the end of Living World Season 1. That's when I came back into Guild Wars 2 after my break, and I missed out on a huge chunk of the middle of Living World Season 1. So I played like the first episode, took my whole last break, and then I came back during the Battle of Lion's Arch. So I'm very, very excited to see how they have changed it, and how the story pans out, considering I've not had the personal experience of playing it. But considering, that's another thing that we have to consider. How have they changed Living World Season 1, because it's no longer an open world event? It'd be nice if you actually could go in. It's kind of like a strike portal if you go in and it just match makes you with a public server with a couple people. But I don't think they necessarily went that far or made it that complex. It's probably going to be more of a single player experience, unless you of course bring your friends in, if you can at least. So I'm very excited to see how this continues to roll out. I only can imagine that they're going to do more Visions of the Past, considering the title is Visions of the Past, of Steel and Fire. So there's probably going to be at least 1 or 2 more Visions of the Past, and just from the trailer, it looks fantastic. It looks like a very large chunk of story-rich content that is not necessarily a part of the main narrative of the Icebeard Saga. So I'm very excited to see how the Visions of the Past system continues. I was going to make a video before the whole entire trailer came out, because I thought we were only going to get a snippet, and I was going to say that I would love to see other visions of other characters come into play. If you remember back to when we had Living World Season 4, they came out with a bunch of Requiems, and one of them was Zafira. And Zafira had a very intriguing story, and just one of hardship and overcoming that hardship, and it was really beautiful to read. And I was like, I could be like, I wish I could play this in game and like see it. But granted, a part of literature that is so great is that you get to think about it in your mind and, you know, play it out in your mind. So I'd love to see more of Zafira. I think this is a great medium for them to implement the story of the missing tree, or I forgot his name, the Sylvari in the personal story. Malik's tree? I don't know if it's Malik. I'm sorry. It might not. I totally forgot his name. It's been a while since I thought about him. But you guys know of that one Sylvari who came from another tree and was lost. And we're like, you're not a part of the grove. Where'd you come from? But they never answer that question. So I'd love to see that also get implemented into the Visions of the Past system. On top of this, we of course have Abaddon's fractal that never came to fruition because everyone voted for the Thaumanova reactor, I believe it was. And it'd be great to see, you know, like an Abaddon fractal. Well, actually, leave the Abaddon fractal for the actual fractal system because, you know, they said they're making more fractals. Just give us the Abaddon fractal. For Tyria's sake, give us the Abaddon fractal. So, in terms of the season and the whole entire potential with the Vision of the Past, I think it's really cool. I hope that whenever we do get the next Vision of the Past, they give us more episodes of Season 1, you know, because they only said the first 4 episodes, or the first 4 missions of Season 1, so that, you know, naturally conveys a sense that there's going to be more. And then, of course, don't be afraid of going away from, you know, the current Icebrood Saga story. And explore, you know, different visions of the past. But I think it's cool that they are exploring a story that is very fresh in terms of the Icebrood Saga. And then to continue with this thought, towards the end of the trailer, we get to see not Kala Scorchers. I'm looking at PvP gameplay currently. We get to see Almora, Soulkeeper, show up. So I think it's really smart that they are, you know, first touching base on a story with characters that are new and are fresh in the minds of players, especially with Ryland. We don't know a lot about him, but he has been just newly introduced into the story, so we're kind of questioning what his backstory is, what type of character he is, what was his upbringing, what was his history with other Char, and overall I'm really excited to see more about Ryland, and of course, once we see the end, what happens with Almora Soulkeeper, considering we got that kind of a hanging, what's it called? My brain is leaving my brain is ceasing to function. Cliffhanger. We got a cliffhanger. It took me a long time to think of the most simplest word. We got a cliffhanger at the end of a mission for episode 1 with when we discovered Almora dead. So it's exciting to see what's going to happen to her. As they have said that they, you know, be on the lookout, you know, we're not going to just leave her dead and be like, oh, she just died and, you know, she got buried. I think it would have been awful if they did that. But thankfully, they're not. So that's the chunk of the content that they have crafted, coded, written, voiced, and made, which is all a lot of work. On top of the actual content, we have some rewards. This is a couple armor pieces, some accessories. From what I've seen, it's mostly just a helm, shoulders, gloves, and boots. I think that's it. It might be a full set, but it says accessorized, so I'm guessing they're just more sporadic pieces. But on top of sporadic pieces, which is already really great to have more customization options for how your character looks, there is a whole new set of armor, and it looks fantastic. It looks al dente, to put it in terms of cuisine. I'm definitely going to be going for this armor set. I just have started to continue on the boreal weapon set. So I'm like really getting back into hoarding and collecting as many skins as I can. So I'm really excited about this armor set, the runic armor set, I think it's called. And on top of that, it has an in-game cape. I want a cape. I still don't even have the basic kill napkin cape. So I'm very excited. And then if you go on Guild Wars 2's website into the Living World section, you have more screenshots of the actual armor pieces and of I think you have a screenshot of a weapon variant for one of the great swords. It looks really cool. There's like flames coming out of it. And overall, very hyped for the amount of rewards that are coming with this episode or with this vision. And that seems to be about everything that is dropping with the actual patch. This is coming out March 17th, so only in 2 weeks. I'm very, very excited to play what seems to be like maybe 2 to 3 Living World episodes worth of story and hopefully rewards. I mean, season 1 was kind of like, it was already there, kind of. So for people who haven't played it, it's going to be a new experience. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Comment below your thoughts on the trailer, the rewards that we've seen so far, and maybe certain storylines that you would like to see explored when Visions of the Past hopefully continues. I mean, it is it's kind of interesting that we now have Visions of the Past on top of Fractals. But I'm gonna see, it's gonna be interesting to see how they balance this and which storylines they pick for Fractals and which storylines they pick for Visions of the Past. But granted, Fractals seem to be more of random stories that they just want to create. But once again, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone, have a lovely day.